countries. I understand Seychelles is also here. They were invited by our partners, UNDP. This is also a cue for you to finalize the process of joining the alliance. You're welcome. And then we also have the regional economic communities. EAC is here, represented by Mr. Dismas. And then we also have IOC that are hopefully online. Everyone is welcome. To start with, I know a lot of you. I have engaged with you in preparations for this meeting over online, so I'm happy to see everyone here. And for those of you that were referring to me as Monsieur, you can see that I am a madam, not a Monsieur. Yeah, so I'll just start off the presentation, and really this is just to set the scene, just to give some tidbits on the work that we as the Alliance have been doing over the past 5 years. This is actually the 5-year mark since the Secretariat of the Alliance got operationalized. And I mean, I'm happy to say that I was part of the team when it was set up, and I'm still here. And as my Nigerians will say, we still dey go. Yeah, so I'll just start to give an overview of what the Alliance is, just for the benefit of those who have not been following us, and those the new countries that have joined us recently, and then also give a brief of what we have done over the course of the 5 years, and then I'll end on what our expectations for this meeting is going to be. And also, there's also going to be a charge for us that over the course of the 3 days, just to reflect on, I mean, this is where we have grown to as an alliance, and what could we aim for as we look towards the next 5 years and beyond. The Alliance was founded and launched in 2017, way back by the governments of Nigeria, Rwanda, and South Africa at the World Circular Economy Forum. Like I mentioned, it became operationalized 5 years ago in 2020, and we're now at 2025, which for us is a significant milestone. And at the onset, it was an alliance that was set up to spur a transition to a circular economy on the continent that will deliver on economic growth, jobs, and positive environmental outcomes for the African continent. And it serves as a platform that supports this transition at different levels, so at national levels, at regional levels, and at continental levels. And that is why you can see the mix of people we have in this room. We have country members, we have regional economic communities, we also have continental frameworks like the ASO, and unfortunately we couldn't get the ACTA in the room, but we are trying to ensure that there's that representation on the alliance so that the transition is starting from the countries and growing up to continental levels. And it's one that will do so through leadership and advocacy, but then also support to the countries so that the countries would have policies that enable this transition. And then finally, and in no way the least, support to businesses as they adopt circular economy transition, because as we all know, the MSMEs, especially on the continent, serve as the backbone of the economy for us. And so we started as a 5-member country alliance when the Secretariat was institutionalized, but we can see that we have grown to a 21-member country base at the moment. So it's really exciting to see the growth and the will that is coming from the country members in terms of membership. So this is just a screenshot of the member countries of the Alliance. We're 21 at the moment, but the backbone of the Alliance is also the strategic partners, and some of them were mentioned just now by our colleague Davina, that really support the work of the Alliance, because it's not just the countries, it's really supported by the activities that all these strategic partners bring to the Alliance. For the interest of time, I won't go into mentioning them one by one. And then, like I mentioned, we're at this 5-year mark, and for us, it's that point of reflection to say, what have we done so far? And then looking ahead critically, what could be the progress? And that's why we really want to hear from you feedback on what we did good, but most especially what we could aim for as an alliance so that we can chart this path and journey together. So as most of you are aware, we started with the inception report that we termed the 5 big bets of the alliance. And it's really exciting to see how that report has served as that channel for designing of activities, not just within the alliance, but within also member institutions that we have worked with. And then key to us was the fact that we have this community that champions the circular economy move on the continent. And one significant milestone was when we hosted the World Circular Economy the World Circular Economy in Africa here, which was the first time it was hosted on the Global South. So that happened in 2022. And from the 5 big bets, we also operationalized working groups. And most of the partners in this room have been supported in one way or the other to boosting the activities of these working groups. Most recently this year, we signed a partnership with the World Economic Forum, their GPAC program for the packaging working group. And I mean, if you ask me personally, I would say there's still a lot that can be done through these working groups. And it's a charge to us, countries and partners, to really think critically as to how we can continue to boost activities within these working groups. I mentioned that there has been increased memberships, country memberships, but also strategic partner. I mean, one strategic partner that has really blown us away was UNDP. They just joined this year. They are hosting us in their premises this year. They are committing resources to the alliance, and we have seen such support also from all partners. And we hope that we continue to see those kind of supports with the increased base that we have. A significant point for the African continent was when the AUC also launched the Circular Economy Action Plan, and we supported them during that process and leading up to the launch. So it was such a good feeling to see that at that continental level there was a guiding framework for circular economy adoption. And then I'll pause here very well to focus on some of the activities that the AFDB also has supported through the alliance. One was the national country roadmaps, circular economy roadmap support that was given to 4 countries this year as the phase 1, the pilot phase. We have countries, I think most of them are in the room here, Benin, Chad, Ethiopia, and Cameroon, yes, that all benefited. Okay, Cameroon is not here because they are having their elections this week, so they couldn't travel to join us. But these 4 countries all benefited from this roadmap support. We have, and I'm sure most of you in the room also submitted the expression of interest that we had called for the phase 2. So we're looking forward to continuing this form of support to the countries to develop roadmaps and also to implement these roadmaps. Then the second form of program within the bank also is the support to SMEs, a program termed Afri-Circular Innovators Program, that in the pilot stage also gives support to SMEs in 3 cities, Kigali, Abidjan, and Ghana, Accra. Yes, so in those 3 cities, that was a pilot stage. That also is also growing, and the second phase of it should extend to other African cities as well. Then these courses that we've had on policy harmonization, Ms. Heworth, when she was giving her charge, she mentioned that there's a need for us as African countries to come together to think about harmonization of standards that will boost trade and boost scale up of circular economy activities on the continent. And that's one thing that we try to champion, and we're still championing on the alliance. And our colleague Ms. Nadine from the African Standards Organization, she's here, really instrumental in pushing for the adoption of the RPET standard, which became successful this year when the countries adopted this standard. So I think that's one important milestone based on our engagement on the alliance. And for us, it's continually a platform where we share best practices with country members, with partners, so that there's that exchange to see what has worked well in this country, what should we learn from, what shouldn't we adopt based on experiences that other countries have heard. And then looking ahead, some considerations, and this in no way is a recommendation from us, but something to think about as we continue in this engagement in the next 3 days. How could we better our activities on the alliance? How do we strengthen the working groups? How do we deepen regional integration of the circular economy? And how do we continue to position circular economy as a strategy for core development on the continent? So let's ask ourselves this question. On the third day, we're going to have a strategy session for the alliance, and we really want to hear from you, your feedback on what we should be thinking about, what we should be considering on the alliance. Yeah, so let me pause to catch some breath. Yeah, and then for this annual meeting, we're just starting. We have a lot of partners that are excited to share with us, and also we would have moments where we exchange with one another. So in terms of expectations, one is in terms of continental alignment and coherence. How do national, regional, and continental priorities converge under this AUC action plan? Thanks, Lisa. Yeah. And then in terms of having shared implementation priorities, how do we align as countries, as regional economic communities, and as continental frameworks to push this agenda for a circular transition on the continent? And then also, how do we build consensus that forges on this coordination role that advances policy harmonization and regional market integration? So these are some expectations that we hope that we'll have some concrete outcomes from our engagements this week. Another one is in terms of institutional strengthening and global positioning as an alliance. For the next phase that we are going into, we have come from the past 5 years, and as we're looking forward, how do we continue to ensure that we are strategically positioned with clarity of roles, monitoring and delivery systems? Is it time to rethink the way we engage as an alliance, to rethink our governance structure? Do we need partners that also help to lead or co-lead on these working groups that we have been trying to set up? And then I think, yeah, that covers also the points to reinforcing our governance and membership base too, as well. 21 countries coming from 5, but there's still 54 countries. There's an overall 54 countries, so there's still a number of countries that have not joined this platform. So how do we ensure that we come together to have that synergy as a continent in this transformation to a circular economy? And then also pathways for implementation and investment. In terms of investment, yeah, I know there's been a lot of tension currently, especially in the investment landscape. But how do we even ask ourselves questions as Africa? Do we need to always look out, or do we need to look within as we continue to chart this path to transition? And then what kind of structures do we need to set up so that this investment is properly leveraged in a way that benefits the development goal of the countries? So I'll pause here, and this is just to set the scene for our engagements in this coming days, and really it's to hear from everyone seated in this room as we think through the next phase of our